Universiteti Vitrina.
Still, let's say, conveys meaning. That is the process of walking fast, okay? In this case, it is not necessary to add other extra elements, that is, objects in the sentence, because it conveys meaning. It does not need any other object, okay? This is intransitive verb. Okay, good. Now, in this slide, you have explained the idea that we can change the position of clauses. That is, we can put the noun clause at the end of the sentence or at the beginning of the sentence. Whenever the noun clause is long, we can use it to the main clause, and then right after the main clause, the noun clause, which is a subordinate clause. For example, that she worked hard for the whole term pleased her parents, okay? That she worked hard for the whole term is a very long noun clause, okay? And as you may see, it is at the beginning of the sentence, okay? So we have the subordinate clause, then we have the main clause, okay? We can make the vice versa, that is, we can place the noun clause after the main clause, okay? And in this case, we can use it at the beginning of the sentence. Why? Because a sentence needs a subject, okay? So, it pleased her parents, was that she worked hard for the whole term. In this case, the sentence would be clearer for you, okay? But there are cases in which you cannot do that. For example, the fact that the economic growth rate is lower than the population growth rate causes problems. But you cannot, let's say, change the position and add it. Why? First of all, it refers to singular person, right? But now we have the fact that we have two facts, that the growth rate is lower than the economic growth rate, okay? So population growth rate is lower than the economic growth rate. In this case, we have two persons or two elements or two fundamentals or elements in this sentence which are related or which are part of the noun clause. So we cannot use it in this case. So it causes problems. The fact that the economic growth rate is lower than the population growth rate, it's not correct. You cannot do that, okay? Are you clear? Okay. Shall we pass to the next slide? Not the exact ones, huh? You will have them in the web.
Okay.
Did you check in the web?
Yes.
Where they? Yes,
was.
subordination.
And coordination was.
Good. Which is the lecture that it wasn't? Who said that it wasn't? Which lesson?
I checked before we wrote the collection.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the tests. They were only the first lectures, not the ones we've done. It was
Strange. Okay, I will check again. Anyway, the thing in phonetics is not so dramatic since you have the book and it are the same things, okay? Whereas in syntax, you can take down notes while I explain. Even though they are the same as in the book. They are differently expressed, but the essentials are...
Even in the book they're a bit spread.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Okay. Now, in noun clauses, we can also use subjunctive verbs. What are subjunctive verbs? Do you have any idea of subjunctive verbs? Subjunctive verbs are verbs which are expressed through a single word. They are simple verbs, okay? But they express urge, urgency, or importance of something. For example, I recommend that you read the book. In this case, the verb read expresses the importance of the fact of reading that book, okay? I do not say I advise or recommend to you to read that book. I just say read that book because I want to emphasize the importance of this action, okay? The importance of reading that book. But this can also be in a negative form, as it is given in the second sentence. I recommend that she not go to that movie. If I say that she not go to that movie, it means that I am emphasizing the idea that she shouldn't go to that movie, okay?
Isn't that sort of command?
Sorry?
Isn't it
A sort of command?
Yes.
An order, you mean?
Yes.
No, it's not that. It only expresses the urgency or the very importance of doing something. It's not, let's say, a command. You do that, okay? It like you recommend or order something politely, but it's not a command. You just emphasize the necessity of doing something, okay? The importance of doing something.
That's why we put recommend, suggest,
Yes.
because without
Or-
that it would be a command, right?
Yes, of course. It can also be used in a passive form. For example, it is essential that the children be told the truth. Okay? We do not say it is essential to tell the truth to children. Otherwise, it would have an ordinary meaning. That is, it's a common phrase or sentence. What we want to emphasize in this sentence that they should. Okay? They should be told the truth. Okay? That is why we use the passive form. Or, I suggest that he saw a doctor. What do you notice in this sentence? Notice that when the main verb of the sentence, or let's say the verb of the main sentence or the main clause is in past, the verb in or the subjunctive verb is also in the past. Okay? What do you notice in this sentence? I suggest
Both are
this.
in present.
Sorry?
Both are in present.
Are in past.
Past tense.
See, I suggested that
suggested.
you saw a doctor.
I'm
Suggested.
saying for the first one,
Stella,
not
we
for
are
the
at the
last.
last one. We will go
Okay.
later on.
Okay.
It's okay.
I suggested, the ed ending suggests that
I
it
know
is
that
in the
it's
past sentence. So should also be in the past sentence then, okay? Or see, in the other case, it should be placed in the past sentence. Let's go back to the previous sentences, Stella. I suggest that he see a doctor. Now, what do you notice?
Yes,
Does
I
it lack
noticed.
something?
Yes.
What does it lack?
It misses an S. That he
Very
sees
good.
a doctor.
That's the thing. What did we say about the definition of subjunctive verbs? Subjunctive verbs are verbs which are put in their simplest form, without addings, without any other, let's say, elements being accompanied, okay? They are used like this because they tend or they aim to emphasize the urgency of doing something or the importance of doing something, okay? That is why it is not given the final S or the ending S, okay? Good. Because it's not its normal form. That is subjunctive verbs are verbs which are not in their normal form. That is, they can be inflected or they can have other endings, okay?
In an essay, if you write it like this, I suggested. Now, if a sentence is structured just like that, without an S, would that be taken as a wrong? Or
No,
something?
that wouldn't be taken as a wrong sentence if your aim and your intention of that sentence is to emphasize that thing, okay? It's like you want to express the really importance of that thing, okay? Si termine në shqip. Të sugjeroj ta lexosh atë libër, dakor? Nuk them të sugjeroj që ti duhet ta lexosh atë libër ose ti duhet me patjetër ti duhet ta lexosh atë libër. Po them ta sugjeroj të lexosh atë libër, dakor? Përdorim lidhoren në shqip, të lexosh, dakor? Good. Let's go. Do you have any question up
Yes.
here? Yes. Stella.
Si për këtë subjunctive?
Okay, now Stella, I'm giving you the explanation in English because it's not, let's say, parallel structure in Albanian language. I said, in Albanian language we use the form të lexosh, të shkruash.
Është lidhore atëherë. Mënyra lidhore.
No, it's now. Don't confuse Stella. I'm saying, first of all, it is lidhore në shqip. It's parallel structure to infinitive.
Ja, është
Are
infinitiv
different-
është paskajore.
Sorry?
Infinitiv është paskajore.
Yes, Stella.
Ndërsa lidhore,
Stella,
ti
listen
lexosh
to
të
me.
mos siç ata.
Okay, Stella, the thing is that you cannot compare the two languages
Yes.
because structurally are different. And I have explained to you, for example, the ing form in English it's a tense, whereas in Albania it's a form. So we cannot make a comparison between them. Thus, we cannot give the parallel structure of subjunctive verbs. Okay? Is that clear now? Just
Clear.
okay, good.
Nëse do kishte një karike që po të mbështetemi, pse mbështetemi? Se duam si mekanizëm mbrojtës,